Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Muhammad Hanif bin Muhammad Din from RECURSIVE Design Studio. These are my thesis, Flexible Housing and Application of Scaffolding Facade System as a Tool in Sustainable Design. Our site is located in Punggol, Singapore. It is about 1.6 acres site, and the surrounding context is packed with housing such as apartment and condominium. My thesis statement is the residents of high-rise housing have rigid facade treatment and indoor layout that fail to respond to the user change. Thus, the unique identity of the resident need to be addressed throughout flexibility facade and housing layout scheme that can adapt to the user needs and culture. My aim is to design a scaffolding facade for flexible housing that can achieve thermal comfort and adapt to the user need and growth by flexible housing scheme using scaffolding system as a tool for sustainable design, sustainable living. The research question for this thesis is, can flexibility of scaffolding become a facade treatment and tool in a house unit? Can scaffolding system be used toward facade treatment and user space within house perimeter according to the user need? What are the dwelling environments suitable for the implementation within user need and culture? The research objective is to explore the flexibility of scaffolding as a facade treatment and tool in house unit, to investigate the usage of scaffolding system toward facade treatment and use the space within house perimeter according to the user need, and then the third one is to introduce a new dwelling environment suitable for implementation within user needs and culture. The target user is divided into three parts, which is for students, solos, and starters. And the potential client for this thesis is HDB itself, and for the furniture, the client is IKEA. The design strategies is, the first one is the modularity, and the second one is disassembly, easy to disassemble, and the product can easily taken apart and it be recycled. And the third one is riskability, and the fourth one is efficiency. The definition of scaffolding as a facade in general is a temporary structure on the outside of the building made for construction or repairing of the building. And the definition for in architecture, the idea is to use a neutral framework, has emerged various throughout the history, particularly at the time of significant technology or social change. So the aim is to fully harness the technological capabilities of contemporary industrial fabrication technologies. My idea is to propose uh, a facade that use scaffold. So on the typical construction stage of a building, they use scaffolding for the construction work, but when it is complete, the scaffolding be removed. On my proposal, the scaffolding is still be used as a construction stage, but when it is done, the scaffolding will be converted into the facade of the building. These are the massing study for the building. So the site is about 1.6 acre. These are the site boundary. The direct access is from the middle of the site, and the service entrance is at the back of the site. And number two is the massing that following the sun pass. So I place a blocks and following the sampah. The idea is to make a larger surface area toward north and south, and smaller surface area toward east and west. Number three is the massing divide into three, and I play with the hierarchy to the surrounding context, which is the apartment at the back of the site. So this massing is maximize the site, and the block is differentiated by the hierarchy of the site. The fourth one is the massing subtraction. So the mass was removed to provide a better gap between the block. Number fifth is the unit placement of the block, and the number six is the escalation that I use linear to connect the block. These are the exterior perspective of the building taken from the Punggol Walk Road. You can see here the middle one is about 6 floor height building, and the third one, which is the block at the back of the site, is about 7 floor height building. The building is surrounded by apartment and condominiums such as a treasure trove, HDB Punggol Sphere, Punggol Residence, and Waterway Point, and it is also located beside the MRT Punggol Station, which is at the west side of the building, and it is about a 200 meter walks. The ground floor plan consists of public space. These are the perspective from the street. The basement, first floor and the second floor is consists of a house unit, and this one is podium of the building. Third and the fourth one, the fifth and the sixth also consists of a roof garden and communal terrace in between the unit. Space tabulation, section AA, section BB, some literature review, case study for this thesis on facade structure and on interior facade flexibility. Some example of temporary structures and permanent structures. The simulation, a compression study, the site annual path, methodologies, and the recommend luminance condition between the working space area and the room surface. These are the facade module. So it consists of 4 type of module that are being used to do the simulation. So the facade material is stainless steel for the scaffolding and tensile for the vertical fin. The simulation compression study on the facade that facing north and south. So the analysis and conclusion is that module 2 is chosen to become the facade treatment that facing north and south because of the less luminance value that display from the simulation compared to module 1. And module 3 and 4 are slightly less luminance value, but this module have limited view toward the outside of the building itself. These are the simulation compression study on the facade that facing east, and this one is facade facing west. The conclusion for this study, this compression study for the facade that facing east and west, module 3 is selected to become the facade treatment because compared to module 4, module 4 a little bit high compared to the module 3, but module 1 and 2 receive too much luminance value in the morning because the direct sunlight that enter directly toward the narrow vertical fin of the module. So the front elevation, rear elevation, left elevation, right elevation. These are the sectional perspective of the building between the first block and the middle block. So you can see the first block we have a rooftop element garden for the residents to use or to farm, and a courtyard in between both of these block, and courtyard will have the air move uh, across the ground floor. These are the exploded isometric for the building. The first floor you can see here is a podium floor for the residents, and from the second floor to the sixth floor is consists of house unit, and in between them they have a communal terrace like this and communal dining for the residents to be together and enjoy eating with each other no matter what the status are. And on the rooftop we have a PV panel PV panel and allotment garden for the residents to use. So the type of unit is divided into 3 types, which is type 1, type 2, and type 3. Type 1 is for the student and the solo, and type 2 is for the starter. Type 3 is for the student and starters. So these are the example of type using scaffolding and modular furniture layout. These are the full frame exterior mullion for the unit, and these are the exterior scaffolding facade for the unit. These are the exterior middle unit of the building, which is located in the middle of the building for type 1, type 2, and type 3. These are the exterior corner unit for type 1, type 2, and type 3. So this type of unit consists of a facade from module 2 for the facade that facing north and south, while on the facade that facing east and west, it will use module 3. These are the plan for the unit. These are the scaffolding facade detail for the balcony, facade detail for the exterior and interior scaffolding. Okay, for the dual customization for his house, so the owner will get a basic dual house unit. So he can pick in this component for the interior space scaffold and also for the exterior balcony scaffold. So these are the what you call the possibility of uh, interior scaffold and exterior balcony scaffold. The scaffolding facade detail, I simulate a comparison between unit that use balcony and unit that doesn't use balcony. So the analysis and conclusion is that the luminance value for both units display quite the same result. The only difference is on the lower part of the curtain wall glass, which is show that user with balcony achieve less luminance value compared to the unit that doesn't have balcony. The exterior tensile facade are still required, which whether the unit have balcony or not. So these are the exterior perspective for the communal terrace. The interior perspective on the balcony. The perspective on the rooftop, which is on the communal terrace of the building. I think that's all for me. Thank you.